Hail my friends. Please check to make sure that you are still subscribed to this channel. People do get unsubscribed every day. And consider please joining my channel membership. You get exclusive videos, exclusive members only live streams, emojis, and more. Check it out, it's a lot of fun. Join the Doomcock army. We need you, my friends. Thank you, and enjoy this video. My friends, last Christmas, as I was receiving leaks centered around the franchise-destroying travesty commonly referred to as the Rise of Skywalker, I broke news about the possible existence of the Lucas Cut, a version of Rise of Skywalker that George Lucas himself created. The Lucas version of the Rise of Skywalker was, according to a source, the very best version of the film in terms of test screening reaction, scoring an 88 from test audiences as opposed to other cuts that scored in the 60s to low 70s. The allegation at the time was that not only did Lucas recut the film, he also shot a good amount of new footage in a last-ditch hope to save a floundering Episode 9 and provide a decent ending to the Star Wars saga. We never saw that version of the movie because after one or two screenings for executives, Kathleen Kennedy is said to have shoved that version of the Rise of Skywalker into the proverbial vault, locking it away from the public forever. Well, my friends, it seems the Lucas Cut has once again surfaced. I have been provided with a number of new details regarding this cut from multiple sources with direct and first-hand knowledge of this version of Rise of Skywalker, and I will be revealing a few key scenes from the Lucas Cut at the end of this video, so please consider watching this to the end. But the real significance of the Lucas Cut may lie in its impact on the future of Lucasfilm. In an odd way, the rejection and suppression of the Lucas Cut may well end up saving Star Wars. Please bear in mind that what you're about to hear is information that has been leaked by sources inside Lucasfilm or Disney, information that I cannot independently verify or attest to, so understand that I am only reporting the fact that I have been told this information. Regard this information as rumor and take it with a grain of salt. You may notice that I have been receiving an unusually high amount of leaks regarding Star Wars and the Civil War inside Lucasfilm from insiders over the course of the last month. I've wondered about this myself. Why the sudden flood of leaks? My source may have uncovered the reason behind all of this in the course of investigating the existence or non-existence of the Lucas Cut. According to my source, all of this started 6 to 7 weeks ago when certain powerful individuals within the Disney organization or powerful investors, upset with the direction of Lucasfilm under Kathleen Kennedy, had a meeting at Skywalker Ranch to discuss the current state of Star Wars. During the meeting, the Lucas Cut was mentioned. A lot of people had never heard of this before. No one there had actually seen it. But like us, they had heard about it, and like us, they were disturbed by the idea that a better cut of Rise of Skywalker might exist, personally crafted by George Lucas himself. A few days later, 4 key individuals who had attended the meeting decided enough was enough. They demanded to know, once and for all, did the Lucas Cut exist or not? And one particularly powerful individual pulled strings to get answers. According to my source, thanks to this individual, a screening was set up for these 4 key people, and they finally got to watch for themselves the Lucas Cut at Skywalker Ranch. The result of this screening was dramatic. The powerful individual who had pulled strings to get the Lucas Cut screened was furious. Indeed, I am informed this individual was so angry at what they had seen, they weren't able to speak for some time after the final credits rolled. Because what they had seen was so much better than the garbage that had been dumped into theaters this past Christmas, it was infuriating. Why hadn't Lucasfilm released this cut? And who was responsible for making such a horrific decision? A decision that almost certainly cost Disney God only knows how much money and may have damaged the franchise irreparably? The answer, allegedly, is Kathleen Kennedy. Kennedy, according to rumor, was the one with the final say regarding which version would be released in theaters. And if this is true, We can only speculate as to her reasons. Was it ego, perhaps? The idea of George Lucas stepping in and mansplaining to her what Star Wars is all about being unbearable for her? Was it the idea that what George did in the Lucas cut negated some of Rey's perfect wonderfulness, salvaged Luke Skywalker, and thereby diminished, in some small way, the idea of Rey being the bestest ever? We still do not know the answer to these questions, and we won't know it until we see the Lucas cut for ourselves, but one thing seems fairly clear. It was after this alleged screening of the Lucas cut that I started getting all these leaks from inside the company, and the big meeting that took place at Lucasfilm or Disney on July 3rd may well have been the culmination of events that sprang from that screening of Lucas's lost masterpiece at Skywalker Ranch. There's a big announcement, rumored to be coming from Lucasfilm at the beginning of September, an announcement of a decision that was reached at this July 3rd meeting. Could this announcement involve Kathleen Kennedy's exit from Lucasfilm? Follow this reasoning for just a moment. I've been informed there are only 3 possible ways that Kennedy will make her exit at this stage of the game. She steps down voluntarily. This doesn't seem to be a likely option. Her contract is allowed to expire, and she and Disney amicably part ways as she goes on to bigger and better things, etc., and so forth. Or 3, she is fired, and Disney buys out her contract. Up until now, Disney has seemed happy with just letting her contract end. But the recent request for her to disclose every project she has in development, the big meeting on July 3rd, and the purported big public announcement coming sometime in September would seem to support the notion that Disney has decided to part ways with Kennedy prematurely. After all, if Kathleen Kennedy was staying on, why wouldn't Disney end the speculation to the contrary, do damage control, and just come out and say, we at Disney are happy with Kathleen Kennedy and with the progress of Star Wars, yada yada yada. I suspect they'd announce that immediately with a simple press release, end of story. And I doubt very much Kathleen Kennedy is leaving voluntarily, unless of course Disney has agreed to give a new Kennedy production company a lucrative production deal to tempt her to depart. That's an option, of course. But regardless of the details, something big happened on July 3rd, folks, and I still have not been told what it was. My sources haven't been able to discover the topics or the decision, so even though you should regard all of this as rumor, it's still my best guess. But only time will tell. Now let's talk turkey about the Lucas cut. My source was directly informed by a source with first-hand knowledge that the Lucas cut of Rise of Skywalker is about 40% different from the version we saw, with about 50 minutes that are revised or replaced. This individual had in their possession several screenshots taken from the Lucas cut, and they showed them to my source to back up their claims. I have details of 2 scenes that were in the Lucas cut, but not in the theatrical release, and one of them will likely break your heart. The first scene occurs after Rey thinks she has killed Chewbacca in a struggle with Kylo Ren. Rey is alone on the Falcon, struggling with feelings of shame as anger threatens to lead her to the dark side, and she asks out loud, "Why is this so hard?" Suddenly, even though she is alone, she hears the reply, "Life is a struggle, but in the struggle, we become better." Rey looks up and sees Anakin Skywalker standing right beside her. He is a Force ghost, and my source was personally shown a screenshot of Anakin and Rey together on the Falcon. In this scene, Anakin reveals to Rey how the Emperor survived in Return of the Jedi, and reveals information regarding the Veil of the Force and the Emperor's Sith mirrors that allow him to access the Veil's powers. Okay, folks, this next bit is going to make you mad. The second scene that was revealed to my source happened when Kylo Ren got the vision of Han Solo sent by Leia to try and steer him away from the dark side. In the Lucas cut, when Kylo speaks to Han, he is joined by Leia, who force projects herself into the scene, and then the 2 of them are joined by none other than Luke Skywalker. This is what ultimately kills Leia, force projecting herself and Han to try and save their son, and the result of this scene is finally, at the end, fans would have seen Han Luke and Leia reunited one last time. And this is what Kathleen Kennedy took away from us, if true. I can tell you that my source personally saw another screenshot of this scene, a photo of Leia on the left, Han in the center, and Luke on the right. My source claims someone who worked on The Rise of Skywalker has confirmed that this scene was indeed in the Lucas cut, the one thing fans were clamoring for. And if this is true, if this has surfaced, it could absolutely explain the activity inside Lucasfilm, the shift in the balance of the Civil War, the leaks, the meeting, but of course, only time will tell. One thing is clear though. If they finally decide to release the Lucas cut, as they have the Schneider cut, once all of this is over, the fans might get the chance to see Han, Luke, and Leia together one more time, if only to say goodbye. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
Ha 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 ha.